I hate to say this, but I think I need to get something off my chest about this.
Oh, yeah?
The soapbox! Get the Sope-box
out. All right, come on.
Look,
Producers bringing it in.
I would describe myself as a mildly enthusiastic monarchist. I love the Queen. I greatly admire Prince Charles. But I was sitting around on Saturday and heard this offer to declare my, loyalty or whatever to the King. And I thought, this is absurd. Now, when I say I'm kind of slightly pro-monarchy, I also am aware that the idea of, say, Boris Johnson being our president is a really good argument for keeping a monarchy so that we don't have elected presidents who are populists and maybe charlatans and lead this country in a terrible direction. I don't think the royal family has done that. But don't make the absurdity of the hereditary principle so obvious to me as to say, will you please sit at home on the couch on Saturday morning and declare your allegiance to the King? It just makes you think about the idea of the hereditary principle.
So you're thinking North Korea now, aren't you?
Well, I just think that this is ridiculous, and it just
very un-British.
And I just think it doesn't feel British.
Yeah.
Now, I lived in America, where at every sporting occasion, on every event, you would have the national anthem, no matter what league it was. Even if it was two local teams playing, you'd have the national anthem. I know that in American schools, every kid will pledge allegiance to the flag every morning. This is a republic, and that is what they kind of are proud of. And I loved American patriotism. But the idea of kind of actually thinking about pledging our loyalty to the King, it just seems to me to point up the anachronistic nature of the system that we've got. It might work, it might not be perfect, but it draws attention to it in a way that I find uncomfortable.
So what you're saying is, see it, don't say it. I mean, it's fine. But I think you have to put it back into the context of what we know about King Charles, right? And he has been, a friend to the environment for his whole life, 50 years. He's sending out wildflower seeds to elementary school children so that they can start growing things. He's creating coastal walks. He's creating national parks. I don't think this feels like a despot, right, who's coming in to make sure that if you don't say your lines properly, you're going to be hanged, and make sure you've got a picture of me on the wall.
It doesn't feel very him, does it? I mean, it doesn't feel very him. And more than anything else, leaving aside the kind of political elements to it, it is so earnest. And that's why it sits uncomfortably. That's why it doesn't feel very British. It's too earnest, an act.
It
and
just
people in
takes
this
me
country
to a
just won't
place
take
I
it
don't
seriously.
want to be. It just feels like it's taking you to a place that I'm happy to watch the ceremony, the pomp, the braid, the polished brass, the uniforms. But once you are asked to say, right, I am part of this and I am pledging my allegiance, it just takes me across a line that I'm not sure I want to go.
The Newsagents. This is a Global Player original podcast.